Let's go now and hook up with our friend from Washington. That's Sonny Young. He's standing by, and he has a lot to tell us. Hello, Sonny. How are you?
Hello from Washington. We're getting ready for a big inauguration on Friday here in the U.S. Capitol.
All right, let me just quickly tell you that in the house tonight, Tony Vitoe is here, and Wale Adigun as well. They might just be chipping in one or two questions as we go along. But let me ask you, before we come to your country, let me just quickly ask you, have you been seeing the games at the ongoing African Cup of Nations? Your impression about the matches that you've seen so far?
I did watch the Algeria-Tunisia match earlier in Franceville, Gabon, on Thursday, and I agree with your analysts there that the Algerians have been a real disappointment at this Nations Cup. I know there was a lot of talk before it kicked off about Riyad Mahrez. He does have a couple goals, but I agree with one of your analysts. I did not really see him out there in Franceville. The Tunisians getting the victory. So, yeah, the Algerians have been a disappointment. A lot of draws so far. I think we've had 6 draws at the Gabon 2017. Not as many goals. In some ways, it's been a disappointment in terms of the skill level in Gabon. I thought we'd see a few more goals than we have. Maybe it's because the Super Eagles aren't playing.
You can say that again, Sonny. You can say that again.
Okay, but let's just allow you to talk about what's going on in the United States, a new administration coming in. How's it going to affect sports?
Well, I will tell one quick President-elect Trump story for our Sports Tonight viewers. 26 years ago, the Voice of America sent me up to Atlantic City, New Jersey, to cover the Evander Holyfield, George Foreman title fight. And I even held on to my press credential from 26 years ago. At the very bottom, you can see Trump Plaza. Trump Plaza, that's where the fight was held in Atlantic City. And I was waiting at an elevator to go up to the boxing ring in Atlantic City. The elevator opens, and who should walk off but Donald Trump, the soon-to-be 45th president of the United States, and Doug Flutie. He was a great college football player here in the United States, but the tie-in between Flutie and President-elect Trump, Trump once owned the New Jersey Generals. They were a U.S. Football League team, short-lived league here in the States, and Flutie was his star quarterback on that team. So Flutie, I don't know how he voted in the presidential election, but he was with Trump that day I saw him at Trump Plaza. And for the boxing fans out there, Holyfield won a unanimous decision against Big George Foreman. President-elect Trump does have other sporting interests, pretty much a New Yorker, and so I think he follows the New York sports teams, the Giants, the New York Knicks. He lives in New York. You have Trump Tower. If I had to say what's his favorite sport, probably golf. He's a big golfer. In fact, one golf magazine here in the United States described President-elect Trump as the first golfer of the USA. He's very wealthy, of course, and he owns more than a few golf courses, not just here in the United States, but also around the world. So I think we will see a president who's active on the sporting scene. Looking ahead to the weekend outside of Washington, one big sporting event that a lot of American sports fans are going to be following are the National Football League playoffs.
Okay.
Only four teams left in the race to the Super Bowl. In the AFC Championship game, the New England Patriots will be hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in the NFC Championship game, the Atlanta Falcons will be playing the Green Bay Packers. The winners of those two games on Sunday will advance to the Super Bowl of American-style football.
Okay.
And that will be played on February 5th, which coincidentally is also the same day as the final of the Nations Cup in Gabon. So that's going to be one of the widely watched sporting events this coming weekend.
Let me just get your thoughts about the Australia Open. The guys here would have one or two questions for you, but let me just hear what you have to say in terms of the results. Novak crashed out, Agnieszka Radwanska as well. Before that, Nick Kyrgios, Marin Cilic. Are you surprised at any of these guys dropping off?
I was really surprised at that Djokovic result. I certainly didn't see him losing this early in the tournament, simply because he's played so well in Melbourne. I think I read one report that said this is the earliest he's been eliminated from the Australian Open in more than a decade. He's won that tournament 6 times. He loves the playing surface in Melbourne at Rod Laver Arena. So yeah, that was a surprising result. Radwanska, the 3rd seed on the women's side, she was beaten. Serena won. I mean, I like Serena's chances of getting that 23rd Slam title. I think it's going to come down to maybe a final between her and Kerber, the German world #1. But I think Serena really wants to get that elusive Grand Slam title.
All right, I'm very sure Tony has a question or two for you. So the next voice you hear is going to be Tony Vitoe.
Well, Sonny, Washington Wizards, congratulations, 13 wins at home in a row. How does that make you feel?
Torian, I got to say, the Wizards have been magical. They've been magical in the past week or so. I think those 13 wins in a row at home, I think that's they're leading the NBA in that statistic. Consecutive wins at home. They played very well in the past couple of weeks. They're finally over that 500 mark. I think they're 2 games over 500. But they've been playing some real good basketball, led by John Wall, their star point guard, and the other guard, Bradley Beal, who plays for the Wizards. He's also been playing very well. So yeah, they're maybe they're going to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah. I was going to ask. Now, is that going to be good enough to get them into the playoffs?
Well, right now, I think they're 5th in the Eastern Conference. Only 8 teams in each conference make the playoffs, so they're in the top 8. They're currently 5th in the Eastern Conference. So I like their chances of making it to the postseason right now. We got the All-Star break coming up, and I voted for John Wall, of course, because I'm pro-Wizards, but it is based on fan balloting, so I don't know how the rest of the NBA fans voted in terms of that All-Star game.
All right.
Okay, Sonny, before we let you go, there's something that's huge. Everybody's noticing it, and the power of the money from China. So I just want to hear your thoughts. Top players moving over to China. Everybody seems, Diego Costa in the news that probably has got his head turned with money from China.
Maybe Sonny will go to China himself.
So how will this affect top stars?
It's a huge story. I mean, I guess I was surprised the Chinese were trying to woo these top players with so much money, but I think we could see some big names heading to Asia now. They're trying to bolster the league over there. I think they call it the Super League in China. But yeah, interesting development. I mean, I've always considered the Premier League, #1. But yeah, it sounds like China wants to make a mark now.
All right, Sonny, I want to thank you for your time on the show. We hope to do this again next week. It's always been good hearing you and getting your thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's always great to be on Sports Tonight.